If you have ever stood for evil in Nigeria, it is embedded in the person named Tinubu.
While many Nigerians feel the situation in the country is now become hopeless since Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged as the president-elect of Nigeria.
I have been blessed to have lived the better part of 55 years and I'm Nigerian. And I have never been more hopeful about the liberation of Nigeria than I am at this moment in my life. I left Nigeria about 5 weeks ago precisely because I didn't want to be dealing with these small talks about what might happen or not happen. There's clarity. Everything evil about Nigeria has coalesced into the person of one man. Everything that we have ever complained about Nigeria, everything came together on the 25th of February and produced the president-elect. You know, when you are cooking jollof rice, every one of his ingredients is at the base of the pot. So we say bottom pot. That's where his sweet pass. If you have ever stood for evil in Nigeria, it is embedded in the person named Tinubu. In any way, shape, or form that you have ever stood against evil in Nigeria, it is in his person. So Tinubu for me is a blessing. It clarifies the issues. If you can find accommodation for Tinubu, you are even. It's simple. It's that simple. It's not about, because it's clear to anyone with half a brain that no election was won by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He lost woefully. But producing him as the president-elect is the crystallization of Nigerian impunity, the madness of Nigeria. Everything that is wrong about Nigeria came together to produce this evil. So those who have any conscience in that country must of necessity forget the idiocy that has allowed them to subjectivize the truth to the point where they find reason not to support the truth. You cannot claim that it's not about the person of Gregory Peter Obi. It has nothing to do with his person. This is about principle. If there are still persons who are hiding behind their disagreements with his person, their objections to style, and they can find reason not to stand up for what they know to be the truth, shame on them. History will not remember Peter Obi's tribe. It wouldn't remember his religion. What it would most remember is the fact that all the aggrieved in Nigeria, the disadvantaged, the disinherited, those who have for long been pained by the way Nigeria has been, they came together, they found common purpose around one man as the arrowhead, not as the issue. Peter Obi is merely the arrowhead of a movement. That's all he is. We all came together for our various reasons and we found common purpose in the issues that the man raised. Some of us raised those issues. Aisha, you raised some. I raised some. Other people raised some. But we all found common purposes, even where we had disagreements. That's politics. We chose what was offered as an electoral process. We staked our reputations behind a faith that the electoral process would be worthy of support. A law was passed. We stood behind that law. That man that is completely bereft of integrity or honor that you call Yakubu or whatever is the INEC fraudster. And I said that standing here, hoping and praying he will sue me, please. He's a fraudster. That man assured all of us and the entire world that we would have elections predicated on electronic transmission of results. Beavers, IRED, billions were voted. And then the man, look, let me just put it this way. I don't know by what. There were two choices when this happened. We could have gone on the street and started making noise, offered them the opportunity to kill as they had always killed, and then we would have all been talking about normalizing the situation. We'll be talking about peace. Those of us that they would have picked up, they would have picked up. Then they will be talking about free this and free that. Then we'll be talking inauguration. And then there would be normalcy and Nigerians as usual would have moved on. But we knew that was what they would have loved. See what we done. We did not cause any fight. See all of us, peace loving. We stand for peace. but it is not at the expense of truth. Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not win any election. There is no person known as Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There is a chimera, somebody who is lying, some figment of somebody's imagination somewhere, who has named himself Bola Ahmed Tinubu, around whom all the evil men in our country have coalesced. They are the ones who might believe that there is something they can win. They've won nothing. When the day comes, we'll see what will happen. A day never break. Maybe they say your president selects. I don't know what day they say they are doing whatever they are doing. Let the court tell us how this wuru to the answer will stand.
What has been going on like recently?
If I've been in this party for 21 years and it came just a year ago and he used people to bounce on me, is that not abnormality? I don't know how you interpret it. Is it because of money that people are saying something like this against me? I'm not happy. But I leave that to God to decide.
Okay, all right. So, still trying to understand, going back to my last question in terms of what your objective or what your plans are for the Labour Party. You say that you are in support of Mr. Peter Obi, your presidential candidate. So, if you're in support...
I said so. I said so. Yeah.
Okay. So, if you're in support of him, don't you think your actions jeopardize your chances at the courts? Maybe I should ask you, the question I should ask you is, do you think the Labour Party should challenge the results of the presidential election in court? Or would you rather they withdrew and support the government of national unity of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
I don't succumb to withdraw the case. I don't succumb. I've said it several times. When you have a good case to handle, how will you withdraw? I am not in support of withdrawal of the case from the court. And the issue of whether unity government is nothing but is grammatical. Whether democratic, whether whatever, every government is unity government. It's just semantics. So it's the grammar. How will you say even whether democratic is not unity government? But what we are talking about now is whether Obi's case should go on or withdraw. Me, I'm not in support of withdrawal because we have a case with the APC.
This is a court. Which of them is your role?
If you have to tell someone that you are 21 years in a party, that means you've really not given enough. Because if you have given enough, you will not need to tell anybody that you spent so long in the party. They would even assume that you spent more. I'm not a member of Labour Party. But a lot of people don't even believe I'm not a member of Labour Party. I keep having to tell people, no, I'm not a member of Labour Party. Because why? I put in the work. I did what was needed to be done. Someone says he's 21 years in a party. During a presidential election just finished, where your party had a lot of candidates, unprecedented. There was a turnaround, yet you're 21 years in that party. You were nowhere to be found. So you were in 21 years in that party to keep it down, 21 years in that party to destroy it, 21 years in that party to make it a bargaining chip, where if people don't have issues in other parties, they can come here and they will find a safe haven. Is that all?
A lot has been going on as the Presidential Election Tribunal has started. Let's look at some trending issues right now happening in the Labour Party, in the PDP, also in the APC, and also looking at the church mix